Stonemito, haven't you gone to bed? Stonemito glances at her with a suspicious look. Where's Shadowblade? I heard he got injured, attacked by a blackbird. Hearing this, Isabella becomes extremely worried. She looks at Shadowblade lying on the bed with deep sympathy. Seeing this, Stonemito immediately says, Isabella, my older sister, is 8 years older than my brother. There's no need to be overly concerned about my brother. This kid, his sister is like a real sister to him. The atmosphere suddenly becomes silent and heavier. Isabella says, okay, I'm leaving. When Shadowblade wakes up, remember to tell him I came to visit. Yes, ma'am. After Isabella leaves, Stonemito takes a knife and sits in front of the door, keeping watch for his brother. Right at this moment, Shadowblade wakes up. Don't bully Isabella anymore in the future. Her life is not easy. Stonemito says, she's not polite. A few days ago, I saw her smoking. Cigarettes are something only the factory inside the walls can produce, so she probably got it from that man. Brother, I think my brother is the target she's trying to get close to. Listening to Stonemito, it makes sense. But who is perfect anyway? Stonemito wants to stay clean in this world, which is impossible. If you don't like it, just keep your distance and don't bully her anymore. Yes. Having said that, Shadowblade also goes outside to sit next to his younger brother. Brother, aren't you supposed to be sleeping? Why are you still out here? There's a bit of an issue. Perhaps I possess some kind of ability. What does brother mean? It's not certain yet. We need to try more. Looking at the moon in the sky, Shadowblade suddenly remembers the time he went hunting with his younger brother. People often say that there are a few individuals in this world who possess special abilities. He used to be skeptical, but since meeting Stonemito, he hoped to catch some prey. Stonemito's ability is luck. Right after Stonemito finishes speaking, a bird falls from the sky right into their hands. But there might be some side effects after the prayer, and somehow, there will be some minor complications. Brother, look, there's a shooting star. As soon as the shooting star falls, Stonemito, who was about to pray, is stopped by Shadowblade. Don't pray randomly. What if there are side effects? Yes, brother, why did the shooting star fall so fast? What if people don't have time to pray? Well, it's not easy to understand. It falls fast because it doesn't want to listen to your prayers. The next day, in a class in the village, the teacher starts lecturing about the era of scientific and technological civilization. Next, we'll talk a bit about the era of scientific and technological civilization. Do you know what science and technology are? No, sir? Then please be quiet and focus on listening to the lecture. While the teacher is lecturing inside, Shadowblade is standing outside, eavesdropping attentively. When the lecture ends, the teacher runs out and calls Shadowblade back. Starting from this evening, you can attend the lecture, but you are not allowed to enter the classroom. Yes, sir? Shadowblade was extremely delighted and grateful to the teacher. In the kitchen, the teacher was cooking soup. When he lifted the soup for eating, Shadowblade handed a cigarette to the teacher. Thank you for allowing me to attend the lecture. What about cigarettes? You allowed me to stand outside and listen to the lecture without paying the tuition fee. That's already good. So I should express a little gratitude. Immediately, the teacher lit the cigarette and took a puff. Note that individuals under 18 are not allowed to smoke. After taking a puff, the teacher spoke again. In these chaotic times, people who enjoy listening to lectures like you are indeed very rare. Can you explain why you like listening to lectures so much? Perhaps because gaining additional knowledge is not a bad thing. For example, the teacher conducts classes amid the chaos and is respected by everyone, or the teacher's position in this class. Hi, does the teacher think I'm right? Listening to Shadowblade speak, the teacher coughed from the smoke. At this point, Shadowblade continued to ask, I always have a question. Yes, go ahead and ask. Before the disaster struck, humanity had many scientific and technological foundations. Where have they gone now? A very good question from Shadowblade. And the teacher calmly replied, extinct. After that chaotic period, the fact that humanity could still survive was already remarkable. No one was in the mood to conduct scientific research anymore. So there must still be some materials left, right? Shadowblade asked. Probably, the teacher replied. However, those things are in the hands of a few people. While speaking, the teacher looked towards the fortress where the authorities were located. The fortress, if it's already like this, why not break down these walls? Most wild creatures dare not actively attack humans as long as everyone stays together. It's as if there are no barriers. Even the wolf pack wouldn't act without thinking. However, If we break down the barriers, we will have access to a lot of scientific and technological knowledge. In that way, we can contribute manpower and collective intelligence to civilization. The teacher took another puff and said, as long as there is still danger outside, refugees will still have to rely on the barrier to survive. In other words, we are cheap labor with such significant benefits. How can the corporations inside let this class division barrier collapse? Do you understand? He capped half of the cigarette for the next puff. Let's go to class. Don't ask about this issue again. Right after that, the teacher thought, is this guy planning to smoke the same cigarette twice? Fortunately, I managed to hide it. The teacher went to change clothes. This outfit already smelled of cigarettes, and it wouldn't be good if students smelled it. So it's fine if I smell it. Didn't the teacher tell you to stand a bit farther away just now? The mission of aspiring for knowledge has never been a bad thing. Learn and teach others. The next class has arrived, and all the students took their seats, except for Shadowblade, who stood at the front door. All right, this afternoon, we will learn about survival. Don't think that danger is far away. It's just because you have parents to protect you. When you grow up, you will have to learn how to protect yourself. If you encounter a wolf pack in the wilderness, what will you do? The teacher asked. Come on, tell us what to do, the teacher said while pointing towards Shadowblade. If we encounter a wolf pack in the wilderness, we should quickly find a high place with a wide view, favorable wind, and no rising water. The teacher listened while nodding continuously until Shadowblade concluded with, that is the place with the best feng shui to bury the tomb. Shadowblade's answer left the teacher speechless, and the entire class fell into stunned silence. After listening for a while, the teacher spoke again. From now on, you can sit in the class to listen to lectures. In return, you will be responsible for the survival class. I get to attend the lecture. Thank you, teacher. As soon as Shadowblade finished speaking, the system immediately announced, mission accomplished. Reward, strength increased by 1.0. Truly feeling the added strength, it seemed like the palace wasn't just imagination. I really had a special ability. Assuming the strength of a mature man is 3.0, and I had around 2.5 before. Now, with an additional 1.0, it meant I had surpassed an ordinary adult. Good. This way my survival rate in the wilderness would be even higher. While feeling excited, suddenly Stonemito called out, Big brother, Jiang Xianxiangnim allowed you to sit in the class to listen to lectures, and even let you substitute for the teacher. Does that mean the teacher wants to choose you as his successor? What's this about? Probably not. I think he just wants some cigarettes. Is he serious about it? But he doesn't seem bad when teaching. Wait until I officially become a teacher, and then I'll pass the position to you. After all, the wilderness is where I belong. It's always like this. Everyone wants to pass on the good things to themselves. Being a teacher is good, but that profession is not suitable for me. Stonemito, you must study hard. The path to becoming a knowledgeable person is ahead of you. Do you understand, Stonemito? Stonemito, where are you? What's going on? Let's go together. Here we are. After saying that, the two brothers walked hand in hand towards home. On the way back, they happened to pass by a group of soldiers. Listening to them say, I can't understand it. We were just about to ask for a few days off, and now we're being sent to Jiangxin. These people were mercenaries. What a sigh. Quickly, find Mr. Liam and ask if there's anyone who can guide us. Jiangxin, mercenaries from inside the barrier are inexperienced in actual combat and enter the wilderness of Jiangxin with such a relaxed attitude. This isn't looking for death. While passing by a girl in the group of mercenaries, Shadowblade felt compelled to turn his head and look at her. That girl gives me the feeling of a wild animal. Big brother, can you ask Mr. Liam to recommend me as a guide? After all, no one in this town is more familiar with the wilderness than my big brother. Jiangxin is a very dangerous area. Without proper preparation and a vigilant spirit, entering there is just asking for death. Anyone who wants to do it, go ahead. I won't take on this job. Stonemito, those people are a bit suspicious. Stay away from them a bit. Upon reaching the tent, as soon as Shadowblade entered, Stonemito asked, Big brother, the wounds are really okay, right? It's okay? Don't lie anymore. Last time you said it was okay, and you ended up with a fever for a whole week. Don't worry, I won't make jokes about my life. At that moment, a group of soldiers arrived at Shadowblade's tent. The person named Shadowblade has truly escaped from the clutches of the wolf pack. Indeed, I can still deceive them. Hearing a noise, the two brothers immediately held their knives at the ready. Shadowblade signaled Stonemito to remain silent, while he moved forward to assess the situation. Is it true, Mr. Liam, what you said about his mind having issues? It's nothing. Nothing at all, I just slipped and said that. There's nothing to worry about. His condition is not serious. Look, we've arrived. Damn it. Liam really introduced me to these people. Shadowblade, come out quickly, we have esteemed guests. Big brother, what should I do now? You go outside for a bit, I'll wait in here. As soon as Shadowblade opened the tent and stepped out, he immediately ran back to the owner's side, acting obedient. Oh my, congratulations, Mr. Liam, a round father and a square son, 6 caddies and 6 tails. Shadowblade's words surprised everyone present. A round father and a square son. What on earth is that? Isn't it supposed to be a round mother and a square son? Wait a minute. Hey, what's going on with this confusion? He's acting all crazy like this and still says there's no problem. Do you know the consequences of deceiving us? Everyone, listen to my explanation. Although Shadowblade's mind is a bit troubled, it's not to the extent he's being accused of. Shadowblade, you've caused me a lot of trouble. Shadowblade thought to himself. Wasn't it you who initially wanted to harm me? Listen, let me explain. Mr. Liam, you have until dawn to find a suitable guide, preferably not turning us into a group of orphans. Alright then. Before leaving, the mysterious girl from earlier also turned back to glance at the main character. It could be guessed that this girl is a master. Shadowblade immediately used the book of random skills from others. Learn a random skill. Acquired the proficient skill in firearms of the opponent. Confirm whether to learn or not. Learn. Loading. Knowledge on the maintenance of firearms. Regularly maintain and care for firearms to prevent mold, corrosion, and rust, ensuring the functionality of the firearms. Regular cleaning. Firearms not used regularly, clean once a month. Firearms used daily, clean once a week. Maintenance items to pay attention to. Check the ammunition belt, gun barrel. Check for deformities on the exterior. Test functionality, joints, and bullets. These are all firearm-related techniques. In this way, I can truly learn the skills of others. Learning successful. Proficiency level in firearms is advanced. Wait a minute, didn't I only have a basic skill book? Why can I achieve advanced proficiency in firearms? Skill study books are divided into 2 types. Basic books can randomly teach skills of varying levels from advanced down. Master books can teach the highest level techniques of the target. If the target is a master, there is also a chance to learn the supernatural abilities of the target. Learning the supernatural abilities of others. Doesn't that make me invincible? Can it tell me the proficiency level of the firearms skill of that girl? Perfect. So, that girl possesses perfect proficiency in firearms. But why would someone as strong as her appear in a mercenary group? Indeed, there is something wrong with this group of people. While pondering, suddenly a mosquito bit his ear. Then Stonemato called out, Big brother, what's wrong? Why are you staring at someone so intently? Before I could answer, Isabella from the neighboring house stepped out and asked, Whose silhouette? Why are you here? Isabella said, I hope we can be like before. The 3 of us together, so, from now on, I'll move here to be neighbors with you too. Stonemato immediately whispered to his big brother. Is big brother still the decision maker here? Right, Sister Isabella is putting all her capital into this. Her house was made of bricks. Stonemato, let's discuss this aspect a bit. If you don't understand anything, just ask. After saying that, the 2 brothers went inside. Stonemato, stop talking for a moment. Our situation hasn't stabilized yet. And don't tease Sister Isabella either. At this moment, Stonemato noticed something under the table. Oh big brother, there are 2 buried potatoes on the other side of the ground. And there's something that looks like 3 pills too. Is it medicine for your injured hand? It's anti-inflammatory medicine. Stonemato, do you still remember last year when we were injured by the wolf pack? Someone secretly gave us a few pills, thanks to which we could survive, right? The place where the medicine was placed last time is exactly the same as today. In fact, I've always been looking for that mysterious kind person. Isn't it Sister Isabella? When I got injured this time, I didn't tell anyone except her. Hearing this, Shadowblade became very suspicious. Suddenly, there was a commotion outside. You scoundrel! I provided you with cigarettes, and you ran away here. I'm sorry, but from now on, I won't do that job anymore. Ha ha, if you don't do it, what will you eat? Who will give you cigarettes to smoke? Big brother. Immediately, Shadowblade grabbed the knife tightly. Leave me alone? Sister Isabella is being assaulted by this scoundrel. Shadowblade immediately ran outside. The system also issued a help mission. Even if there is no mission, I will help Isabella. Without much thought, Shadowblade drew his knife and rushed in. Seeing this, the scoundrel showed satisfaction. "You brat! You want to cut me with a bone knife, want to compare it to my Iron-made one?" He hadn't felt satisfied for long when his knife was split into two by Shadowblade. What the hell? He hadn't even figured out what was happening. Shadowblade had grabbed his hand, punched him in the side, then turned around, pressing his head hard to the ground. "This is for harassing Sister Isabella. This scumbag. How can someone his age have such strength?" Shadowblade turned to ask Isabella, "Who is this guy?" Isabella said, "He is a supervisor at the coal mine across the way. The incident last night, where someone was stabbed to death, was orchestrated by him. The reason was that he heard that the person had some savings, and he owed money to the casino, so he hatched this evil plan." Upon hearing this, Shadowblade took his broken knife and was about to deliver a finishing blow when suddenly the system issued a mission to spare the opponent's life. After reading the mission, Shadowblade decided to use the knife to cut one of his ribs. The man had about 3 minutes left to live, so he quickly ran to the town's clinic to stitch up the wound, hoping for a chance of survival. He struggled to get up, then immediately ran to find a doctor. Mission completed. The basic skills book reward. Noticed that you are lacking a ranged weapon, so specially activated the branch mission function. The first mission is definitely to save Isabella, however, the second one can be considered as completed. Finally, how does this palace determine things? Just let him go like that. He's not exactly a good person, and if his wounds heal, what if he comes back seeking revenge? Do you still hope that our town's clinic can save him? That's true. All right, you're so wicked, you can rest assured. After retrieving his dagger, Shadowblade looked at Isabella standing nearby and asked, "Is it because of that cigarette?" Isabella nodded in confirmation, and Shadowblade said, "Certainly, that thing must have been mixed with devilweed. Even though Mr. Liam said the mixing ratio is very low, I hope you won't get involved with it anymore." While speaking, Shadowblade stuck the dagger into the ground to show authority to the people around. "Isabella, even though I am very talented and handsome, our affair is impossible." Hearing that, Isabella was somewhat embarrassed and quickly clarified, "I really just want to adopt a few as my younger brothers." "Ha, is that so?" Embarrassed. Due to embarrassment, Shadowblade hugged Stonemito and rushed into the house. "There you go, always daydreaming. Hi. Those two kids are so adorable." Suddenly, inside Shadowblade's consciousness in the palace, a typewriter sound echoed. The typewriter automatically typed continuously, and a piece of paper was printed out. Branch mission function has been activated. A branch mission is a side mission, right? That's a bit interesting.